You are listening to Music, the Unifying Force, and I am Yusuf Gandhi. Last month, while I was in India, I had the pleasure of meeting and conversing with one of the greatest Indian classical musicians of our time, Sarod Maestro, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan. Khan Sahib, as I respectfully call him, spoke to me extensively and freely about his life, his music, his instrument, and his collaborations with some of the most revered musicians around the world. The interview lasted a little under 1.5 hours. As our next special episode on Music, the Unifying Force, we are honored to present this episode in its entirety. However, being apprehensive of your schedules and time, we have divided the interview into 3 parts. You may binge watch and hear the entire interview in one go, which is recommended if possible, or you may listen to the 3 parts separately as your time permits. The part 1, the first part, features Ustad Amjad Ali Khan's childhood and his nurturing in his instrument and the music under the tutelage of his guru and father, Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan. The second part features Ustad Amjad Ali Khan's collaborations with music and musicians from around the world, and the respect and empathy the musicians have for each other's cultures and customs. In the part 3, features Ustad Amjad Ali Khan and his instrument, the Sarod, the uniqueness of its technique, the intricacies of its tonal quality, and its relationship to other string instruments. So here let's start with part 1. Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, the history of his nurturing in music by his father, his guru, highlighting the special bond between the guru and the student, the Ustad's musical development, and his quest to preserve the legacy of his guru and father.
All are same. The kings or queens or United Nations Secretary, we all same human being, same emotion, no differences.
You were listening to the album which just recently won a Grammy, Meditations, by His Holiness Dalai Lama. This album has the music by Ustad Amjad Ali Khan and his children, Aman Ali Bangash and Ayan Ali Bangash. And we are very glad to have Ustad Amjad Ali Khan in our midst today. I am Yusuf Gandhi, and you're listening to Music, the Unifying Force. Ustad Khan Sahib, it is so much of an honor for me to meet you today, because you have inspired me as a student when in 1971, when we had the Malavli Rock Festival, where you told Chandu Kapadia and myself how to start an Indian music group for the college students. And that inspiration has, helped me, get into the music business, actually. That's why it's an honor to have you here today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. From my childhood, I never refused any invitation, especially from the schools, colleges, because in our country we say स्वर ही ईश्वर है, हर राग में एक आत्मा है, और music connects you to God. If you are interested in music, or if you became interested in music, it is the power of music, not alone me.
Mhm.
And I still remember your involvement with music and Mr. Chandu Kapadia. You were supporting music and you were trying to convert a lot of unmusical students into music. You can't promote music. Music grows on you.
Yes.
And in every religion, if you see, there is music. In a church, there is an organ, the piano, and kirtan, bhajan, kavali. And so, generally, human beings they they feel that through music, if they call God Almighty or Bhagwan or even Allahu Akbar, that azan, so beautiful, so melodious. So it's a precious gift of God, music. And anybody who appreciates music, you are also blessed. But in school, uh, I feel that most of the school all over the world, in their assembly, I've seen in India actually, that the children are loaded with all kind of Desh Bhakti ke gaane, shlokas, and whatever the principal decide. So it's a big load. Lot of their children are loaded with the language, the words, which I feel is my humble suggestion to all the schools of the world that these 7 notes, Sare Gama Padhani, my relationship with the world is only through sound. I'm not a good speaker. बोलने का रियाज नहीं करा मैंने कभी. The whole world is talking. Whole world through their language, through their words, trying to impress the world. And some are successful. Even politicians, because of the speech, they win the election or lose the election. So thank God, that's not my field, that's not my forte. So I feel the students early in the morning, they must experience the sound only. Let every school assembly should begin with the sargam. So it's almost like yoga. They call it bhamri. There is a practice in yoga. So it's sound only. So these 7 notes, Sare Gama Padhani, they are connected with the most important cells of our brains. So brain का tuning हो जाएगा. सा रे गा मा पा धा ni sa. So the whole assembly can sing that. That vibrations, that will give them a lot of energy and power and spiritual experience.
Yes, as you're talking about this thing about students, and one of the greatest traditions of Indian culture and Indian classical music is the Guru Shishya Parampara, or in English, it is the teacher and the student tradition, right?
Do you think there is a difference between teacher and guru?
No, I think there is in a way, because Guru is much more than a teacher, I feel. Guru, and that is what was trying to bring to you, saying the Guru Shishya Parampara, when you're talking about a teacher, not only gives the student, and normally it's what you have done with your sons, what your sons are now doing with your grandchildren.
भीगा नहीं सर चलो da. Da 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 da.
The guru gives you is a role model besides just being a teacher. And while you're teaching them life, you're teaching them everything is in the guru shishya tradition. So I'd like you to talk a little about that, because that I think is so important today's day and age, where the parents and the children have some sort of role models, because a lot of it, because of work and all, people go away and they go to work. The children are sent to school, and that's what, as you said, it's the school teachers teaching them everything. And this tradition is so rich in Indian culture.
My father, my guru, Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan Sahab of Gwalior. He was the hero of 30s and 40s. Among his contemporary musicians were Ustad Abdul Karim Khan Sahab, Ustad Fayyaz Khan Sahab, Ustad Lalgudi Khan Sahab, Kesar Bhai Kerkar, Mogu Bhai Kurdikar, and Ustad Alauddin Khan Sahab, Ustad Inayat Khan Sahab. उन लोगों ने तपस्या करी थी, यानी रियाज करा था. They surrender their life to God. They surrender their life to music. They did not know what will happen tomorrow. उनको अपनी कल का पता नहीं था. जैसे अब हमें आज भी नहीं पता है कल क्या होगा. तो हम लोग फकीर लोग हैं बेसिकली. जो दे दे उसका भी भला और जो ना दे उसका भी भला. तो ये फकीरी का चोला पहनना पड़ता है जब आदमी तपस्या करता है, जब आदमी रियाज करता है. और गुरु, I think it's a Sanskrit word, and somebody tried to explain me one day that the person who tried to show you the light in the darkness. Earlier days, a knowledgeable person or knowledgeable guru was considered an institution. And today, the difference is that today a concrete building is called institution, isn't it? And Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, in his struggling days, while searching for guru, so he learned from many people, and he learned from my father also. If you see a documentary film on Pandit Bhimsen Joshi made by Gulzar Saab, so Pandit Bhimsen Joshi mentioned in that book, in that documentary, that he came to Gwalior, and for 3 years he was in Sarod Ghar, used to live there, and he realized the difference between Marwa and Puria. So he was very humble, he was a very great vocalist, and he created that Savai Gandhar festival in Pune. Every time I used to visit Pune for Savai Gandharva. But Pandit Bhimsen Joshi was so simple and honest that once he was singing in Sarod Ghar, he told people that I used to learn here, I used to come to Khan Sahab to learn. And he said, मैं इसलिए भी आता था कि यहाँ मुझे खाना फ्री मिलता था.
मोरे गगई झांडो ना भैया बंगर मोरी मोरे गगई झांडो ना भैया बंगर मोरी मोरे बंगर मोरी मोरे गगई झांडो ना भैया बंगर मोरी मोरे गगई झांडो ना.
Guru Shish Parampara. I mean, I have seen my father's disciples. They will serve. They all served like a domestic help. Yes. And the Guru adopt them, accept them as their own children. Guru will decide about their future. They will listen to the Guru. And no disciple was allowed to ask about his future. Because Guru himself doesn't know about his future. So, कल क्या होगा ये पूछना अलाउड नहीं था. तो वो वक्त ख़त्म हो गया. वो सिचुएशन ख़त्म हो गई. Even my father, I'm the youngest child of my father. I had several elder brothers. They were all Sarod players. And my ancestor's house has been converted into a museum. It's called Sarod Ghar. And this inspiration came once me and my wife, Subbalakshmi ji, we were in Germany. And I was very keen to visit Beethoven's house in Bonn. So we went to see the great legend Beethoven, the composer, conductor. Very small house, but beautifully kept. And they were showing me this is his piano, this is his bed, this is his sleeper. And so while in that house, I was thinking, do we have any house preserved for a musician in India? I could only think that political figure, एक राजनीति का नेता जिस घर में गुजर जाता है वो मेमोरियल बन जाता है. हमारी हिस्ट्री यही है. But I'm very happy that Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, he has been preserved very well. Shakespeare is preserved very well. Yes. But unfortunately, Ghalib, the great poet of India, could not be preserved the way Shakespeare was preserved. Anyway, after coming from Germany, I tried that our humble house should be converted into a museum. So the museum was created, that house was renovated. I was born in Gwalior, as you know, in that house, our old house. My forefathers, they were court musician in Sindhia, Royal Maharaja. You see, the credit goes to all the rulers of India who patronized Ustad Hafiz Khan Sahab, Ustad Abdul Karim Khan Sahab was the court musician in Mysore Darbar. And Fayaz Khan Sahab was in Baroda Darbar. My father was in Gwalior. So, Mia Tansen, he was our source of inspiration and the Gharana. So, Tansen was born in Gwalior. His Samadhi is in Gwalior. So, my forefathers, they all learned from the family of Tansen. And that is why our Gharana is called Senia Binkar Gharana. Senia Binkar Gharana. There is no Bangash Gharana, there is no Mayyar Gharana. Because even Ustad Alauddin Khan Sahab, he considered himself Senia Binkar Gharana. My father and Ustad Alauddin Khan Sahab, they were contemporaries and also they were Guru Bhai. They learned from the same teacher for some time. There was a Guru, Ustad Wazir Khan Sahab, in Rampur Darbar. And he was very knowledgeable and he belonged to the family of Mia Tansen. So my father became his disciple and then later Ustad Alauddin Khan Sahab also became his disciple. Gwalior Gharana is known for vocal music. There were great musicians, great singers. In fact, Khayal Gaiki was created in Gwalior by the Gwalior Gharana. Drupad was always there. Nothing is new or nothing is old. Everything was there. A matter of time, matter of era. In certain era, Drupad became popular, certain era, Khayal became popular. In my childhood days, my father invited few teachers at home. Homeschooling, like somebody taught me Hindi, somebody taught me English or mathematics, I could not understand. Anyway, because mathematics I was using in music, all these so this is mathematics. But we musicians, we create castles in the air. You can't see music. You can't see rhythm. Like you can't see God. You can't see air. With the help of air, music is created. My father was not interested that I should go to school because he himself did not go to any school. वो कहते थे बेटा एक जीवन में आप एक ही काम कर सकते हो या स्वर को समझ लो या किताब को समझ लो तो एक पुरानी कहावत है एक साधे सब सधे और सब साधे सब जाए Jack of all trade, master of none, isn't it? So it's a very popular saying. So in 1957, there was a delegation from Delhi. They came to my father, Gwalior, and they invited my father to come to Delhi. There is an institution called Bharatiya Kala Kendra. It was a unique institution and they tried to invite and involve great legendary musicians. So my father came to Delhi and many other great masters of Kathak dance and Khayal and Drupad. They all came, they were teaching in Bharatiya Kala Kendra. While in Delhi, a group of the friends and disciples persuaded my father that I must go to school. There's a school, in modern school in Delhi. So Mr. M.N. Kapoor was the principal. He was very kind, very encouraging, and he knew my passion, my way of life. And as I told you that I was not good in mathematics. So one day my father took me to Mr. Kapoor. कि कपूर साहब इनका मैथमेटिक्स कैसे ठीक होगा. कहते खान साहब ये कभी मैथमेटिक्स में पास नहीं करेंगे और मैं इनको कभी फेल नहीं करूँगा क्योंकि ये सरोद बजाने के लिए आए हैं. Can you imagine any principal of any country to say something like this? Because mathematics, I was involved in music.
Yes.
All the mathematics, all my composition, this offbeat, the mathematics is always. So there are several compositions, and most of my composition they have lot of mathematics involved. So I enjoy mathematics. I enjoy rhythm. So a lot of rhythm you can see in my compositions. This is a 9.5 beat. Dhin tere kita dhi. Ta na na dire dire dim ta na dim ta na ta da re da. Na dire dire dim ta na dim ta na ta da re da. Ta na na dire dire dim dim ta na ta na no. I became the earning member of the family from my childhood. So I could not enjoy the freedom of childhood. I became responsible from the age of 12 or even earlier because my father was very old. So people started inviting me, and whatever money I got, I gave it to my mother.
Yeah, and that actually is what fascinates many of us is this Guru Shishya Parampara, as I'm talking about. A big businessman who has a lot of factories. When he dies, he bequeaths, uh, you know, uh, the factories to his sons. Now, it's a successful business. Some children may just say, "Okay, I'm just going to let it go as it is." Some may want to expand it, but it is always material. But what they bequeath to you is not material. In Guru Shishya, it's they bequeath to you all the knowledge that they have, their uh, their uh, their virtuosity in the music, and then it's up to you to absorb that and then make success of your life, which is what you did, right? And which is what your children did. So that is the beauty of the Guru Shishya Parampara, that they are giving, it's a role model that you do what you like.
Well, my father tried on every son. They were all amazing sarod players. My eldest brother, Ustad Mubarak Ali Khan Sahab, then Ustad Amjad Ali Khan Sahab, then Ustad Rahmat Ali Khan Sahab. And I had uncle also. So my father tried on everybody, and everybody played sarod, traveled with my father. But the concentration was more on me. Maybe it was my advantage that I was the youngest child.
Right.
In 1958, my father introduced me to Calcutta. There was a very ancient, popular music festival called Sadhana Music Conference. At that time, the very famous tabla player of Bengal was Ustad Karamatullah Khan Sahab. So, and Karamatullah Khan Sahab's father, Ustad Masjid Khan Sahab, was brought to Calcutta by my father because somebody wanted to learn tabla, so my father recommended Ustad Masjid Khan Sahab. So Karamat Khan Sahab played with me, and I was scheduled in the morning. I played Gujari Todi, and in the evening, Abbas Sahab, my father, was playing. Pani Samta Prasad was playing tabla with him. So while in school, I was traveling a lot because every region of India, they nurtured me, they encouraged me. And also because my father was Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan Sahab. In 1960, my father was awarded with Padma Bhushan. We were living in a rented place. We did not have car. So we went in a taxi. My father took me along. So that was the first time I saw Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru very closely, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Dr. Krishna Menon, all the great Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad and all those great people. So Mr. Nehru, after the investiture ceremony, it's a ritual in Mughal garden to have tea. So Mr. Nehru came up to my father, Khan Sahab, koi takleef to nahi hai. Then he looked at me, he shook hand with me. Then Dr. Rajendra Prasad comes. Khan Sahab, koi takleef to nahi hai, main kya seva karu? You see, it's this kind of situation, a musician who is living in a rented place, वो कहेगा मुझे एक सरकारी घर दे दो, गाड़ी नहीं है तो कहेगा गाड़ी दे दो. But my father telling President of India कि आप दरबारी की प्योरिटी को बचाइए. I was feeling embarrassed.
That is
कि
the
क्या-
pay.
That people are taking liberty in Rag Darbari. It is your duty, you are president. You must protect the purity
Yes.
of Rag Darbari. Poor fellow, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, how can he help? But he was so simple, my father. He was hoping as if next day he'll pass a resolution in the parliament के सब दरबारी ऐसे गाना. नहीं खासा मैं जरूर ये करूँगा और क्या सेवा करूँ बताइए. कहते हैं मेरे नमाज का वक्त हो गया मैं जा रहा हूँ. He was not aware about protocol that you can't leave before the president. वो चल पड़े और मैं उनके पीछे पीछे and no security man stopped him also. घर आकर to my mother, he is not telling about his Padma Bhushan. बोल रहे राजेंद्र बाबू ने वायदा करा है कि वो दरबारी को प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे. He was Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan Sahab of Gwalior. फकीर आदमी थे बिल्कुल. Most contented. He always thought he had everything. Very, very connected with God. अपना नमाज पढ़ते थे. बराबर में हमारे ग्वालियर में adjacent to our house is a mosque, मस्जिद है. और वो मस्जिद में, because in India, the people who are giving azan, the muezzin, they are not trained. Like Middle East, they are very trained people. The azan of Middle East. Entire Middle East, Egypt, wherever you go, beautiful melody, beautiful, it's so appealing. But in our mosque in Gwalior, my father used to be uncomfortable because his azan used to be out of tune. तो वो नोट भेजते थे कि अगली अजान तुम मत देना मैं खुद दूंगा अगर. वो मौलवी साहब को he used to send a note that please don't perform, I will come and do myself. In 1963, a delegation from Delhi was going to America, included including Birju Maharaj, Pandit Birju Maharaj. So he was very keen that I should be in the delegation. And he promised me that he will play tabla with me and I will play with his dance. But my father was very worried because he himself never traveled by plane. He was afraid of flying. And to go to America by plane. So it was difficult for him to accept. So all the musicians, artists of the delegation persuaded and appealed and pleaded and made him agree. So finally, I traveled. It was the invitation of Asia Society of New York. For 2 months, we were traveling in America and performing. And that was the time, 1963, that the America was realizing Indian classical music. And after 2 months, we came back. And then I didn't go to school. But those 4 or 5 years, whatever I spent in school, because of that, I could face the world. I was doing residency in Stanford University. I was doing residency in York University, England, Indiana University, Washington University, and so many honors and doctorates I received. So I think that schooling did a lot good in my life. So otherwise, it's all traveling, serving the people of India.
Yes. The whole thing about music is it unites people all over the world. And that is where it comes to our whole podcast, which is music, the unifying force, where we are talking about you going all around the world, meet, performing, doing residencies everywhere. And in India itself, you went to the South India, you went to North India, everywhere. You're uniting a whole different people of different faiths, different. It is a unification where people don't talk about creed, color, race. It's the music that comes from the heart.